because people feel, for some reason, they feel that it matters less than national elections. They are more affected by national elections than they are by European elections. So there is a tendency to vote a little bit more opportunistic. But we cannot ignore it, because actually, I understand it's not the first time Marine Le Pen won the election in France. That the strong thing from her, relative to, for example, Italy, is that
Italy, Union won.
Yeah, Union won a lot, and the Five-Star Movement, they lost a lot. But in Italy, it's very much divided. But in France, Marine Le Pen actually, basically, she managed to control the entire right-wing group. So she managed to unify them and create a big power base. Very often, with these right-wing party everywhere in Europe, they are splintered. So they cannot form a front, and thereby their influence remains limited. But in France, actually, it has become mainstream. So that is, I think that's part of her is political skill and the will to really make a change. I believe that in other countries in Europe, a lot of, except Hungary, of course, in other parts in Europe, the right-wing parties are still splintered.
By the way, Marine Le Pen is a populist?
Marine Le Pen, yeah. Well, if you look at her speech, if you look at her speaking, definitely. But I don't know, to be honest with you, I don't know enough about her policies to tell.
She is extreme right.
She's extreme right, yeah.
Yeah.
And when she speaks, she addresses the public. It's a typical populist speech. Like, it could have been like the textbook of populist speech.
Really?
It's like it's incredible. Like, wow,
really,
unbelievable. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, but that doesn't mean that also her policies are populist.
Oh, so her speech, why she won? Because her speech against Macron is like very emotional in the message for people.
I think it's an anti-vote for the French people. So basically, it is polarizing French people. It's polarizing against the government. Basically, it is also like using the uprising of the Yellow Vests and the incapacity of the Yellow Vests to unify. But the general feeling of dissatisfaction that everybody's feeling, but only Marine Le Pen manages to bring together in a united front, which is well, I don't like her, but which as a politician is rather well done. But it's the same thing with the Green Party. So why did the Green Party win so much?
Yeah, why Green Party won so much?
So actually, a week before the election, there was a huge student protest all over Europe against climate change and basically appealing to adults to finally take this serious. And I feel that a lot of young voters, not only young people, but also parents of young people, they said they identified with this student movement and they realized we need to do something. And I believe this gave the Green Party a huge tailwind in the election.
How come climate change give impact for the Green Party? How for the German people?
Well, Green Party has always been big in Germany, and Green Party was the number 3, then became number 2 party, 3 party. They always have been very significant, but they always wanted to be part of the solution. Therefore, they chose to govern with the CDU and the SPD, the Christians and the Socialists.
Yeah, how come they took a so big lead this election?
Well, I think what happened is that basically the Green Party became part of the government. Then the government was very ambitious in their climate goals, also as a result of working together with the Green Party, because they wanted the Green Party managed to put this on the agenda big time, and this is very imaginative to the younger generation. We saw the Jeremy Rifkin video. Do you remember the third industrial revolution? This was something that was
the third industrial revolution. What is that?
We saw that video. It was maybe an hour and a half video.
What was that?
Where he explains that basically we are currently living in the second industrial revolution, which is powered by fossil fuels, and fossil fuels are finite. So that means that actually, basically, we're already ending the second industrial revolution, because the scarcity will drive up prices. Whenever the economy appreciates, the scarcity will drive up prices and will put a brake on our economic system. So what we saw, for example, the financial crisis was not really a financial crisis. The financial crisis, it happened already 2 months before the financial crisis, when the oil price hit an all-time high and basically put a big brake on the economy, which triggered the financial crisis, but was not the cause of the financial crisis. And what he goes on, he says, okay, we are now becoming too dependent on this fossil fuels. So we need to. It doesn't only make sense from an environmental point of view, but also from an economic point of view, to immediately start changing away from fossil fuels and go and invest in renewables. We need to do that, make smart buildings, focus on renewable energy, and with Moore's laws.
Okay, I forget that. Really?
Okay. Yeah.
Is this the third revolution?
The third industrial revolution, yeah.
Oh so my Germany God! Oh my God!
Was a front runner in that field, but actually they did not deliver so much on the promises. The results of their policies, they were not really carried through, and this is where the CDU lost a lot of goodwill. The CDU was blamed for the climate goals not to be made, and the younger generation, they.
What do you say? You save what? Save what? What did you say?
What?
Save something? You said. I don't understand. Recognize your word.
Let me repeat the entire thing, because I don't remember exactly what it was.
Okay. But it's strange that climate change or renewable energy is you said the third revolution, but actually the main stage is IT, robotics, AI, not renewable energy. How come you said the third revolution?
Yeah, no. Actually, the third industrial revolution is centered around changing from fossil fuels to renewable energy. That's the driver of the third industrial revolution.
Oh, really?
So basically, if you manage to do that, you manage to basically fuel your economy with renewable energy, which is infinite. Which means that you are no longer sensitive to price shocks of the fossil fuels, which means that you have a much larger potential to grow your economy. So it's also an investment in the future. But anyway, I believe that most of the youth, they did not protest about the economic side effects of the third industrial revolution, but for the environmental effects. They say, okay, we don't want to inherit a planet which is totally polluted, so we want you to be more serious about the climate goals. Therefore, they voted on the Green Party, and in the Netherlands also the Green Party as well, together with the Socialist Party.
Oh, Netherlands is also Socialist Party supporting environmental protection?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Really? But your country is populist, get wilder, right?
Yes, but actually, you know what happened with Geert Wilders?
Yeah. No. He lost. He lost.
He lost. Yes, you're very well informed.
But how come he lost?
Well, actually, because Geert Wilders has been part of Dutch politics for quite a long time. And he cannot, basically, he cannot talk to people's hearts and guts anymore because nothing changes. He didn't bring any. He didn't bring any change.
Exactly. But usually, you said last week a populist is he just make a plan, but they don't execute their plans. You said, but this time in European Parliament, how come so many populists won?
Well, I mean, besides Marine Le Pen, all the populists
have
been around for very long.
Yeah, Italy the same.
Marine Le Pen is already, so I know Marine Le Pen is already there for quite a long time. She has a history. Her party is established. Her grandfather already, he founded the party, I believe. He was the founder of the party. So this has a long history. It has a political history. It's been a big party, but if you look at like Italy and if you look at Farage and if you look at
Farage,
other parties, usually they are short-lived, and because basically the people voted for them with their hearts, but then they realize with their heads that nothing is changing, so they look for another candidate who can capture their heart. So what happened in the Netherlands is that somebody else got into the front line, who is younger, who can kind of imagine, can capture the imagination of the people, and then now all of a sudden, all the Geert Wilders voters, they moved over to the other camp, and Geert Wilders is, basically, his game is over.
It means this case, Dutch case is already, he got some certain level of position, and actually he did nothing. But the other countries, people still not. They got political position yet, so they got the one.
Exactly. So basically, as to do politics with your mouth, that's one thing, but to actually execute and bring the changes that are needed, that's another.
But Trump is getting result. How come?
Yeah, but the question is, okay, so the results that he's getting, are they really so good? I mean, okay, the economy is not, I have to admit, the economy is not doing so bad, but on a grander scheme of things, I mean, if we really look at, for example, his policies to stimulate the economy, basically he's taking a very short-term approach by raising tariffs and by basically forcing people to open up their borders and things like that. It's all very short-term oriented. His policies in regards to energy, if you compare it with the scientific reports, which came from his own people, is being ignored, and in that report it clearly says that these policies will hurt the United States in the longer run.
He tried to get support, ordinary people to support. So ordinary people majority people are very much short-sighted. That's the reason he supported what you want to say.
Right. Very short-sighted.